Lesson number 11 is called If It Ain't Broke, Don't Fix It. Now the word ain't is not a real word. It means like isn't. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's just a slang term. Let's go to the first page. Hoarding. Hoarding is an interesting, cheap, and somewhat useful hobby. Don't throw anything out. Just put all of your stuff in your house and keep piling it up until there is no room. Once you have run out of room, the stockpiling of stuff continues outside of the house. You may have seen houses with old barbecues, toys, and cars sitting in the front yard rusting away. This is a good example of hoarding. Usually, the homeowner will use a car until it dies. When the car dies, they simply leave it on the front lawn as decoration, like this. Hoarders measure their wealth in terms of garbage. Now, I should tell you that hoarding just means to keep stuff in your house. There is also this kind of medical term, which I think they call it compulsive hoarding. That's not this. Compulsive hoarding is when you have, like, in your house you have old pizza and you have like 1,000 cats, and some of them are dead cats that are rotting, and it's like a totally unhealthy situation. That is not what we're talking about here. This is just hoarding. Just hoarding. Alright? So we got basically run out of room, stockpiling, and rusting. The first one is run out of room. This is just an expression or idiom or saying, whatever you want to call it. It means to have no ability to add more stuff, go forward, or continue. The first example, the car ran out of room on the road. It had to drive in the ditch. You know, I was riding my bike today, and some idiot, some contractor idiot with a trailer and a truck zoomed by me, and there was another car on the other side of the road, and the other car had to go almost in the ditch. Holy crap, that was nuts, man. Anyway, Mike ran out of the room to borrow money, and he had to default on his credit cards. So basically, on your credit card, you don't have, I mean, it goes up to a certain point. Let's say $25,000. If he gets up to that point, he can't borrow any more money. He has no more room to borrow money. Another way of saying borrowing room is to just say borrowing room. The government ran out of the borrowing room. The government ran out of borrowing room and caused a big panic. And the government recently did that. The singer was on stage for 2 hours and ran out of singing room before the last song was finished. So they didn't have enough time to finish their song. Stockpiling. Stockpiling is a verb. It means to accumulate for future use. We stockpiled food for the holiday because the stores might run out of food. People started stockpiling money when the bank started to go bankrupt. That is also called a bank... I should get my fingers in the right place. Bank run. Okay. It's also called a bank run. Maybe I should leave that. See, it's actually really dark in my room, and I can't see what I'm doing with the keyboard, so you have to bear with me. The chipmunk stockpiled a lot of pine cones for the winter. There was this little chipmunk living outside my house, and he would stockpile all these pine needles. Well, actually, they were fir cones for the winter, and except one winter, I moved the wood pile that he was under, and he kind of disappeared. I hope he didn't die, but who knows? Gamblers can stockpile their chips to show they won a lot. Probably better to convert it to cash and leave. But anyway, rusting. Rusting is to turn from iron to iron oxide, or to get old. That's just slang, or not good at something. For example, let's do this one first. To get old would be this one. I haven't played basketball in a year. My skills are a little rusty. Rusty as an adjective means not good at. Like if I stopped making these videos for like 10 years and came back, my video making skills would be a little rusty, so I would have to practice. The example for actually turning from iron into iron oxide would be this one and this one. The bicycle sat rusting in the rain for years before someone removed it. And the boat was good up until last year when the motor rusted all the way through. If you've ever wondered why I randomly go with my cursor off like this, it's because my cam studio's over here and I have to drink water. So I don't want to make the water drinking noise on the video. You must keep your metal objects away from water to prevent rusting, such as this. It's actually, I should say steel. See if I can see the freaking keyboard here. S-T-E-E-L. You must keep your steel objects away from water to prevent rusting. Throwing stuff away. Western women love to throw stuff away. If something is broken, old, or they simply don't like it, they will just throw it away at whim. Men prefer to keep stuff forever because it might be needed later. Women tend to want to be organized, whereas men prefer to just put everything in a big pile. Women see an old car as a worthless object to get rid of. A man sees an opportunity to fix the car and make it run. There are better options than throwing items away. For instance, recycling allows the materials to be reused. So basically, it's like women are like, you gotta throw that old stuff away, you know. I remember my mother was always telling me, you gotta throw all this stuff away. It's like my clothes that I just bought. You gotta throw that away, you know. Jesus. At whim. What is at whim? We'll get to that in a second, man. We got a picture here of a magnet picking up some steel. If you throw stuff away, it must be melted into new products. So if it's still good, don't throw it away. Just keep it, man. So let's do at whim. At whim or on a whim is an expression, idiom, saying that means doing something without any warning. For example, the manager fires workers at whim. All workers are always scared. You like the way I read that? Awesome. So pretty much the manager's like, hey, you're fired today. Just no warning, nothing. Just you're fired. That's at whim. At whim. The restaurant cooks food at whim because they have no menu. That means the restaurant just cooks food basically with no menu, so they just say, hey, what do you want? And oh, I want a sandwich. They make you a sandwich. No menu, no nothing. Billy drove to New York on a whim, and he didn't tell anyone where he went. So, if he just took off, didn't tell anyone without thinking, that's on a whim. If you make decisions on a whim, it saves time. Worthless. Worthless is an adjective. It means not having any value. For example, these books are worthless. They have no information I need. The money that Jim found in the box were worthless old Zimbabwe dollars. The worthless house was destroyed by the new owners who built a new house. If something is worthless, then get rid of it. Maybe. So, here you have the chart going down of the value, and if it gets to here, you may get rid of it, or you could keep it. Opportunity is a noun. It means a chance of success by doing something. Now that's not an exact definition from the dictionary. I kind of made it up because an opportunity isn't always good. Some are good opportunities, some are bad opportunities. This new farm is an excellent opportunity to make more money. That would be a good opportunity. The stocks chosen by the TV program turned out to not be a good opportunity because they went down a lot. That would be a bad opportunity. The sale at the store is a great opportunity to take advantage of the low prices. That's a good opportunity. Opportunities this good don't come around often. That's a common marketing sales pitch that is used to get you to go to the store to buy stuff. Here we said making a car run is an opportunity. And women see it more as a worthless object to get rid of because it's like, oh, it looks dirty, or I don't like it, or it's taking up space, or whatever. One man's trash. The saying goes, one man's trash is another man's treasure. This expression means that one person can think something is garbage when another person thinks it's worth a lot. For example, let's say I have an old engine that I don't want. I put it by the side of the road. Mr. Thompson walks by and sees the engine. He happens to need that exact engine for his car. Yeah! One man's trash is another man's treasure. There you go. People often throw away valuable things because they don't know how to fix them. With a little knowledge comes great opportunity. Study how to fix things and your trash can be more valuable. Yeah. I know how to fix things. Yeah, because I'm awesome. Really awesome. So here you got a saying. A saying is an expression or idiom. It's also a commonly said phrase. As the saying goes, give a man a fish, feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, feed him for a lifetime. Give a woman a fish, listen to her complain for a day. Teach a woman to fish, watch her storm away in anger. Yeah, good joke, good joke. Thank you, everyone, thank you. Ben said, Judy said she'll give me a penny for my thoughts. I think it's a low price. Ha ha, what an idiot. Okay, John says, Ben. That's just a saying. She doesn't actually want to buy your ideas. Ah, poor Ben. Sayings can get you into trouble if the other person doesn't understand. Ooh, okay. Engine. Engine is a noun. It means the power plant for a vehicle or what makes something work. That's an expression. I don't know if EXP is really a shortened version of expression. It could mean explicit, I don't know. Let's hope it means expression. The car's engine exploded and it flew off a cliff, but nobody died. Oh, that's good. Norman was surprised that his car had no engine. Someone stole it. Well, that would be weird. The growth engine for the company is their new smartphones. So you got this engine here, a growth engine for the company, would be what makes something work. This is the expression here. The power plant for a vehicle is this and this. Another expression for engine is like this. Coffee can help you start your engine in the morning. That's just a saying that says it'll help you get energized or whatever. I don't drink coffee because, I'm just perfect, so, Argument. Build your house big. Your house should be as big as possible. Build it so big that you will never run out of room. If you buy a lot of stuff, you will always need somewhere to keep it. All packaging and garbage from your shopping trips give you the opportunity to do some stockpiling. You may need lots of stuff in the future that may seem worthless now, but you will have great value in the future. Ooh. The people who say that hoarding is dirty and a fire hazard are not very intelligent. The world is running out of everything from metals to oil to plastics. We need to keep everything in case of emergency. Let's say you have a car that has a bad engine, so you buy another car. If you keep both cars, you can use all of the good parts from your first car. So this argument's like, hey, we need to stockpile the stuff because it'll have great value in the future, and we're running out of everything, so we need to keep everything in case it's like next year we run out of copper or we run out of oil, so we need to stockpile. Second argument, live in a small house. Having a big house is just a big problem because it will need a lot of expensive heating in the winter and air conditioning in the summer. The rusting of metal parts will cause them to fall apart. Therefore, a smaller house will need fewer replacement parts. There's a saying, kill two birds with one stone. A small house offers 1. The future opportunity to move it, and 2. Less space to have to clean. The small house can still store a lot of junk. The worthless junk must be stored in a storage container or garage. It's much cheaper to buy a storage container than it is to build a huge house. A small house can be built out of long-lasting materials such as aluminum, timber, or stone at a much lower cost than building a small house out of wood and plaster. So pretty much this argument is saying that this big house is stupid because it's going to be so expensive to heat in the winter and use the air conditioning in the summer. And it'll just fall apart. So what we need to do is make a small house with a storage container for all the junk. And this one's saying you can use long-lasting materials that last a long time, such as aluminum. In England, aluminium, or in Australia, both aluminium, but in America we say aluminum. The correct scientific word is aluminium, but we just don't like that, so we said, you know what, we're going to change the word. So yeah, timber is just wood. Basically timber is a big piece of wood, pretty much the whole tree. Time for questions. Number 1, what is hoarding? Number 2, how do men and women differ regarding throwing stuff out? Number 3, what does this mean? One man's trash is another man's treasure. Number 4, list some things you think are worthless. And number 5, what should you stockpile in case of emergency? Number 1, what is hoarding? Hoarding is the process of storing everything in your house and never throwing anything away. The benefits of hoarding include having extra supplies in case of emergency and saving money on spare parts. The problems of hoarding include health risks and fire risks. Number 2, how do men and women differ regarding throwing stuff out? Men keep everything while women prefer to throw out anything they dislike. Men like to have spare parts and collect things, whereas women are obsessed with organization. Number 3, what does this mean? One man's trash is another man's treasure. This saying means that some people throw things out. You mean throw out things? Yeah, that's what I mean. Throw out things that are useful to other people. They are likely throwing out items they don't know how to fix. Number 4, list some things you think are worthless. I think the following things are worthless: large power boats, large houses, and excessive government regulations. These 3 items waste huge amounts of energy and materials. They also keep people stuck with debt and the inability to travel and have freedom. So pretty much if you have a huge boat and a huge house, you spend all your money heating the house in the winter, and it's just always requiring you to repaint and redo this, and pipes are breaking and stuff, wasting all your stuff, all your money. Number 5, what should you stockpile in case of emergency? In case of emergency, the following items should be stockpiled: food, water, clothing, batteries, lights, fuel, cooking equipment, first aid kit, car, motorcycle, boat, private airplane, and computers.